guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kackie, and welcome to video number 7 in my 12 Days of Mindfulness series. If you guys aren't caught up on all of these, it is pretty helpful to watch them in order, so if this is your first one that you're watching in the series, there's a playlist so you can just kind of start from the beginning so that you can kind of see how everything builds on one another. But if you guys are caught up, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about something a little more positive than the last couple of videos, and that is going to be gratitude and the practice of gratitude. And this is something that is just so incredibly important that we just all don't take enough time in our lives to do. It's actually really surprising for me, the differences that I've seen in my life since I started making an active effort to practice gratitude, because it does feel like something that is, I don't know, just like an emotion or a thought, and it doesn't seem like it would have kind of like a real world practical effect on your life. But for me, okay, I'll paint you guys a picture. Kind of when I was at my lowest point over the summer, and you guys saw I had just bought my house and I was surrounded by great things, and I still was so depressed and so low that I was feeling this overwhelming guilt about not appreciating what was around me, and then also this sense of inadequacy, like I wasn't worthy of everything that I had achieved, and that I almost needed to self-sabotage to make myself the level that I felt, you know, just sort of a lot lower. And also I had this weird, like overwhelming fear that someone was going to come and pull it all out from under me. It was the strangest, most impractical feeling, because like I had bought a house, I had given them a lot of money, and it was entirely my doing, and I had made sure all the budget checked out and everything, and literally I had this house built. No one else was trying to get it or anything like that. This has been all me start to finish, and yet here I was with what I consider to be a very beautiful life, and all I was just burdened and laden with these feelings of inadequacy, and that someone was going to come and take it all away from me. There's a lot to that to unpack, and some of it has to do with being the child of divorce, where I think that nothing's ever really stable and somebody's always going to come and change the game on me, so I always need to have an exit route. I always have to have some kind of escape plan. It took me a really long time to even recognize that I needed a strategy to manage this feeling, because it was going to eat me up inside. And I've talked before about Brene Brown's book, Daring Greatly, but she talks about scarcity. That's sort of the word that she applies to that feeling, and it's sort of a lack of worth, an inadequacy. I am not enough, or there is not enough. I am not thin enough, I am not rich enough, I don't have enough of this, I will never have enough of this, I will never be enough to achieve this. Scarcity, and it's a totally made up concept in our own minds, but we apply it to everything. And I'm horrible about it. I'm always that person who's like comparing myself to the next best thing, and it's the most unhealthy mindset, and I just couldn't figure out like where the thread began that I needed to start kind of following to unpack all of this garbage. And so I was surprised when her answer to that feeling of inadequacy and not deserving what you have is gratitude. Gratitude is just an active practice, and I journal it. You don't have to journal it if it's something that you can just like meditate on or something like that. Everybody has their way that they like to process things, and that is all, I mean, that's as unique as the individual. But for me, journaling my gratitude is super important. And for me, it started to make me process what things meant to me outside of the physical monetary sense. It taught me to be grateful for the work that I had done, or the luck that I had had, or the people that I was fortunate enough to have crossed paths with, and things like that, where you start to look at your life from the standpoint of what were the culminating factors that conspired to make this such an incredible situation that I'm in, and not just I'm not worthy of this because this costs this, or some people don't have this, but other people have this and I don't have that, and it just becomes this like tit for tat, keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. Instead, you kind of look at it from a standpoint of a holistic view of your life and saying like, wow, I am so grateful that I'm alive, breathing on earth, age 30, just able to do the things that I'm doing, and that I cross paths with this amazing man that just like challenges me every day, or that like when I adopted a puppy, he ended up being the greatest dog in the world, or that like I have parents who support me and things like that, and just kind of like all the culminating factors that led you to where you are that aren't just, I went out and bought a house and now I don't feel like I deserve it. And you start to realize how beautiful the whole path has been, and also how ridiculous it is that you think that you don't deserve to be rewarded for the things that you've worked for. And so it makes you start to feel like you're giving back, in a sense, giving back almost to yourself. And you start to feel like you're refilling this cup almost, that you just feel like you've been pulling out of the whole time, in just terms of like, oh, I fucked this up, I fucked this up, I fucked this up, like I am inadequate, I am not enough. And you start kind of putting enough back in with gratitude. But essentially it helps to reinforce the foundation that you have built all of your dreams upon. And it tells you, no, this didn't just happen to you. This isn't just good luck and then someone could come taketh away just as they have giveth. It is something where you have taken the time to build a really strong foundation. And if you just sit back and appreciate, and actively appreciate what you have, you'll realize that it's just part of your path, and that what you owe to the situation when you feel like you're at a deficit is to be grateful. Some of the other hidden benefits of exercising gratitude are, I don't know, they've just been really surprising to me. The overall benefit of approaching things from a more grateful standpoint instead of a standpoint of scarcity is that you make better memories. You make happier memories because you're able to be fully present in all of the gifts that you enjoy. You don't feel this weird sense of it's all going to get taken away from me, or this weird sense of guilt like I'm not worthy of this. You get to actually like sit there in your beautiful house or your beautiful relationship or the beautiful situation that you're in and appreciate it for what it is, and then your memories are not tainted by this same feeling of inadequacy. And so you are actually stopping yourself from building unhealthy neural pathways because you are looking at things from a healthy, grounded standpoint. It also makes you want less, which is interesting. So I think that was one of the biggest things that I noticed, was that when I had more things, I just wanted more things, and that felt really counterintuitive. I was like, wow, I've achieved so much. I feel now like I'm comparing myself against people who have other things that I should have, or I don't know, it's just this really strange kind of tailspin when you're not taking inventory of your thoughts or why you feel that way. They can just start to get really malicious and sort of just eat up all of your thought time and all of your energy. And if you can just step back from that, see it for what it is, and say, no, you know what? I'm going to stop that pattern, that crappy downward cycle, and I'm going to apply gratitude to the situation and say, gosh, I'm just so thankful for everything that has conspired to get me where I am. You find that you're less greedy and you want less because you don't need to fill a void with something material in order to make yourself feel like, well, maybe I just don't deserve it because I haven't achieved enough. It's like, no, you are enough, and you can just kind of appreciate what you have instead of feeling like you need to just keep climbing to that next echelon, because as long as you're in that negative mindset, no amount of stuff is ever going to make you feel worthy of it. And finally, I think that one of the greatest benefits and gifts from practicing and exercising active gratitude is that it makes room in your brain and you are able to really thrive instead of just surviving. And I think that kind of goes to just about everything in your mindfulness practice, but that gratitude is such an enormous, enormous part of that, because so much of our thoughts and really what fuels our shame has to do with feelings of not being worthy. And that's usually 99% of the time something that we're putting on ourselves, and something that we have created, and a neural pathway that we have driven really deep in our brains, and we just keep going down the same one and we wonder why nothing's changing. And if we can sort of redirect those feelings from a place of guilt and inadequacy to a place of thankfulness and worth, then we are able to then keep those thoughts in a healthy sphere of, hey, you know what? Like, I work for things, I achieve things, that doesn't define me. That's not who I am, it is just a part of my life, and the rest of me gets to continue to grow however I see fit every single day. I am completely in control of my psychological destiny. then you have that room in your brain to thrive instead of just surviving. So exercising gratitude has been just like an immensely helpful practice for me, and I hope that that helps someone out there. One person and I will have done my job. So if you guys enjoyed this, got something out of it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if this hits home for you guys, or if it's private. As always, you can message me on Instagram if you want to kind of like start a conversation or anything like that. I really appreciate talking to you guys. And if you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel for this series and beyond, go ahead and hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. And I hope that you guys are having a lovely holiday season, and I will talk to you in the next video.